Hi, good morning. How are you doing? Today, I would like to make a short video and share with you about my experience with mindfulness. We are in a quite chaotic period in our lives right now because we are preparing for a move in another country, so lots of changes are happening or are about to happen. And mindfulness has been really a good tool for me to stay a bit grounded, stay a bit balanced, and be able to offer that stability also for my kids. So I thought it was a good idea. Maybe it would be helpful for others to talk about mindfulness and kids specifically. Let's start by saying what exactly mindfulness means. It is a very broad term, and maybe if you ask yourself what comes to mind when you think of mindfulness, different things will come to mind to different people. Maybe for you, it is yoga or meditation or drawing coloring pages or having long walks in nature. There are as many ways to be mindful as there are people. And this is really lovely because we are all different, and there should be a way for everyone to find some peace in their heads and be able to feel more focused, more well rested, and more present in the moment. These are actually the goals that we are trying to achieve through mindfulness. Um, but why is mindfulness important? Like I just talked about things you can achieve with it, but actually, in this day and age, especially when it comes to the Western lifestyle, the issue is that our life is full of distractions. Maybe if you look at your laptop or phone right now, you will see many different tabs open on your internet browser or on your phone. You will realize you have apps bleeping all the time. So it is very hard to focus in one thing because many different things call our attention, and not all these things are of equal importance. So mindfulness can help you focus more and ignore distractions and be able to prioritize what actually matters and what does not matter that much. Another area where it is very helpful is feelings, getting to know your feelings, getting to recognize them, and also accepting your feelings. Because there is a really big issue with toxic positivity nowadays. It is this whole dark part of the wellness industry as well that is all about feeling good about yourself, taking care of yourself, be positive, believe that the universe is going to help you, everything is going to be all right, and all these things are well and fine if they give you comfort. However, for many people, they make them feel guilty that they're not trying hard enough to be positive, they're not asking the universe hard enough for the things they want, they're not doing their job in being just positive and cheerful, and this is why good things don't happen for them. While actually, all feelings are good. There are no bad feelings. All feelings are normal, and we should be able to experience them. And there is a very big misconception when it comes to mindfulness and especially meditation, that you should actually empty your head or that you should train yourself to feel good and ignore the negative feelings. This is not the case at all. Actually, the goal of meditation is being able to be present in the moment and allow the thoughts that come into your head to again pass and go on like waves, as if you're a boat and there are waves, you're riding them, you're allowing the boat to go from one wave to the next, instead of resisting them and then all the water getting into your boat and you eventually getting drowned. So it is really about allowing yourself to experience things, not pushing them down, not pushing them away. And especially if you're a parent or a caregiver or a teacher or you're working with children, it is really, really important if we want to raise a new empathetic generation and a generation that has better mental health and emotional health than our generation, to teach your children, teach the next generation to recognize their feelings, realize all feelings are good, accept their feelings, and also regulate their feelings if need be. So this is a part where mindfulness can play a very helpful and important role. I'm sorry, I have a cold. I have to blow my nose. Disgusting. So another reason why mindfulness can be very helpful, especially when it comes to kids, is because of the way of life and the way of education, the way education is built nowadays. Kids do not get enough playtime and do not get enough outdoor time. And this would be the natural way for kids to be mindful, to be able to experience the world with all their senses instead of just their sight looking at the blackboard or the smart board, and hearing, listening to the teacher. They are not using all their senses, and that is really sad, and that is actually detrimental for their development. So how could we actually counter that using mindfulness? How could we give them more opportunities to actually use all their senses, their touch, their taste, their hearing and their sight in different ways, in order to help them have a more full experience of life and be more present in the moment? So we are going to look into different ways to do that for ourselves and for our children as well. So let's look into kids specifically. The first thing you need to remember when you are trying to practice mindfulness with children, or when you are trying to teach them the mindfulness skill, is that you can't do it like that. You can't do it traditionally by telling them, okay, sit down, we need to talk about mindfulness. Kids learn by example, and actually they have to watch you being mindful in order to want to copy you and see what is it that you're actually doing. Many times we want to do things perfectly, and we get frustrated when we are trying to do a mindfulness thing with our kid and our kid loses focus. And you really need to remember that you have to be playful. You have to be in touch with your playful side, in order not to get frustrated when you're trying to do mindfulness practice with your kids. For example, you can look online YouTube videos about yoga for children, and you will see that there is a lot of moving around and jiggling and dancing, and kids are not made to sit still. So do not try and have your kids do yoga with you that you have to hold the position for 2 minutes or whatever. Look for playful options, like look for children's yoga videos, or you can just, of course, improvise a yoga flow with your child if you're experienced in that. But if not, there are instructions online. When you meditate with your kid, you again need to do it on their level. So, for example, a very common technique used is, instead of telling your kids, now take a deep belly breath, you can talk about belly breaths, but it is much more helpful if you explain to them that they can, inhale and then exhale as if they want to blow a really big balloon, and then you can tell them, now try and blow into the balloon slowly, or try and blow away leaves, or use metaphors that the kid will understand and will find interesting, or even funny. Fun is even better, because then the kid will relate mindfulness practices with a joyful feeling, and they will want to repeat them. Uh, and then it's also a nice idea to use songs or sound, or maybe singing bowls or other like musical instruments for kids when you do meditation or yoga, or before or after, because like the song wakes up the whole body anyway. It resonates within you, and it wakes up your whole body. And it is something that I'm really not good at, familiar with, I have trouble with, but there are so many benefits at singing with your kids. I have been much more liberated since having kids and singing at school, but do give singing and music attention, because the benefits are really can be really great for children when it comes to mindfulness, and also expressing their feelings. Now that I talked about feelings, it's really important to take the time and talk with your kids about feelings. Um, Ask them how many feelings can they name, and see where you can get it from there. Most likely, most kids will say that they are happy, sad, angry. You can already help them name more feelings by asking, how do you feel when you haven't eaten for a while? How do you feel when you have hit your leg or your arm? And then hungry comes, and then pain comes. How do you feel if there is a lot of sun? How would you feel if you were standing out in the snow? And then they will realize that feelings have a lot to do with our body as well. And we as adults are very disconnected from our body. And this is also something that mindfulness can help a lot with as well. So when you are doing your meditation practice, you are also paying a lot of attention in your breathing, in your body. When you're doing a body scan, that is also a really nice exercise to do with your kids before bed. So you lie down, you close your eyes, you breathe in from your nose, breathe out from your mouth if you feel comfortable doing that. And you pay attention to all parts of your body one by one. Are my toes feeling relaxed? Are my ankles feeling relaxed? Are my calves feeling relaxed? You can tense them and release them. You can ask your child to do the same, and then you can really feel your whole body and be present in your body in the moment. Um, Another nice thing that you can teach your kids is that when they feel frustrated, when they have a feeling that we would name bad, but then we know it's not bad, we can teach our child to just observe that feeling and sit with that feeling. And it really works miracles, because for myself, whenever I'm feeling bad about something, I get really, really tense on my right shoulder. And since I've did a bit of therapy and a bit of more reading and practiced mindfulness, now I've reached the point where I say, man, I'm feeling bad now. I can feel it in my shoulder. I wonder what it is that really annoys me so much. And then I think of that thing, I give a name to the feeling and also the underlying feelings, because most of the times when you feel angry, you also feel frustrated, disappointed, sad. And once you get to the top, to the bottom of it, suddenly the physical symptom is also being released. So you can do that. You can guide your children to really look deeper and deeper and find out what the underlying feeling is for them. So if your child comes from school and they are like slamming the door and stomping, their feet, and they go to their room and they ask you what is it, and they're like nothing, you can then, once they're out of the room, or you can go into their room if they will allow you, and you can just listen to them, like do a bit of active listening. We will talk about that in another video. Listen to their story and help them, guide them through their feelings. And hopefully it will help them, realize what is really going on, instead of I'm just angry or I'm just upset, you know. Um, and then what can we do about the not enough outdoors play? If you have a garden, you're privileged, of course, like we are right now. Soon enough, maybe we won't be when we move. I don't know if we will find a house with a garden, but if you don't have a garden, if you have a balcony, even if you don't have a balcony, make sure you have some dirt in house. Have some pots, have some plants that the children can water, can fertilize. Ideally, if you can have a bigger container that the children can actually plant their own plants in there, take care of them. Gardening and the contact with earth really helps us ground. It really helps us be present in the moment. It really helps us focus on nature, how things grow. We are busy with our hands. Like you can feel the dirt, you can feel the humidity. So it's a really nice way to focus on your senses. You can teach your kids to, smell the leaves of tomato plants. Notice how the earth smells after the rain. Um, Crumble dried herbs in their hands and see how they smell. So really focus on the senses. And of course, ideally, having walks on nature is the best thing you can do to have your kids really notice how they feel, how their body feels in nature. And then you can focus again on the senses one by one. Like, what is it that you see? Do you see your reflection in the water? What is it that you hear? Do you hear the birds? Do you hear the wind? Do you hear maybe the cars passing by? You can also do it in a walk in the middle of a city. Like, just sit on a bench, close your eyes. What do you hear? Like, do you hear children laughing in the playground nearby? Do you hear the cars? Do you hear people fighting? Or do you hear people walking fast? Or, you know, encourage your kids to just take a pause and notice what is going on around them. I should be doing that much more often with my own children. Actually, this video is also a reminder to me to what I could and should be doing with my kids more often. Another way that I really, really enjoy being mindful with my kids is visiting museums, because I love art and I love science and I love museums. And here in the Netherlands, museums are very, very child friendly and there are activities for kids. But even in a museum that is not child friendly, you can still go in with your kids, know from the start that probably you will need to get out much faster than you would if you would visit a museum alone, and take the time to really not just see the paintings, but really look at the paintings, look at the exhibits, Don't explain to your children things. Let them discover. Let them ask you, what is that? And if they don't ask, just let them observe, and things will happen into their brain, and they might come back to you later and talk about what they saw, or it might come back in their drawings. Because in order to understand art, or more even better to feel art, you need to be focused, and you need to be in the present moment. And don't be disappointed, it's not going to work from the first time. Your kid might be running around, you might be frustrated. You just need to keep trying, and then your kids will eventually be really well behaved museum visitors that other people won't hate when they grow up, like people who talk really loud in museums, and I hate them. Sorry, that was not very gentle or mindful. Um, and then eating mindfully, and that starts from cooking. Um, have your kids cook with you. Have them chop vegetables. Have them feel the temperature of the water, not when it's boiling. Um, and then smell the spices and decide what spice should go in, and feel the textures of the food, and eat a few bites with their eyes closed. Again, senses, 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 focusing on the senses does the trick. Um, and then when you're at home, winter is coming here in the northern hemisphere. It's not that easy to go out that often. Um, so you can focus on lots and lots of mindfulness activities at home. I really want to recommend this book. It's the frog that you see on the thumbnail as well, like Sitting Still Like a Frog, by Ellen Snell. This is a book with mindfulness games for kids. That's not a promotion, by the way. It's a book I've used myself with the kids a lot, and Ellen Snell doesn't know me or give me money, unfortunately. But here you can find activities, you can find really nice stories. You can find, things like that guide your breath, breathe in, breathe out, following the line with your finger, these kind of things. Um, Also labyrinths, or, things just that help you keep focused, like coloring pages, yoga exercises for kids. It's a really cool book, and my kids really really like it. And what we do, like as a tip, because there are pages that you need to draw on, we just scan them and print them. Like here, this is the jar of emotions, your inner weather report. So what we've done, we've scanned this page and printed it more times so the kids can keep filling in their emotions whenever they feel like it. um, so that is also something you can do. And another trick I've done, I've printed out a labyrinth. I wonder if I have it somewhere close by. No, unfortunately not. But I've printed out a labyrinth, and the kids can follow it with their finger, in and out, in and out, in and out. And it is really calming when you feel frustrated, or those bottles that you have glue and glitters inside, really not eco-friendly. They resemble a bit the lava lamps of the 80s, and the child can shake it and then keep looking at it until the glitter settles down. And it did help my oldest a lot. Another thing that I do with my children, and they love it, is a little game. I think I learned it from a Dutch Waldorf video. Could be, but I'm not sure anymore. But the whole idea is that you have the kid like curl up like that on the ground or on your lap, and then you touch their back gently, and you say that I have a little field and I want to plant it. And you do different finger moves on their back. So, like, I'm taking out the weeds, and I'm gonna till the ground, and now the rain is falling. So you do all those different finger movements on their back, so they have all these different sensations, and they are ecstatic when I do it. They will really stand in a row, one behind the other, and they just ask for the little field again and again and again. And it is, again, because it helps them ground into their own body. Um, so I think these are all my mindfulness tips for. I mean, there are many more. It is a lot of like sensory play for younger kids, playing with clay. But it is, if I had to just tell you two things, it would be keep it playful. Don't get frustrated when it doesn't look perfect or Instagram worthy, and keep trying. And the other one is focus on the senses, because the senses bring us to the here and now, and they help us feel grounded, feel focused, feel present. in the moment. I hope you found these tips helpful, and please, if you like the videos, I plan to keep them coming up. Do like and subscribe. It would help me to know that they're reaching someone out there, despite all the algorithm mess. Have a nice day, and we talk again soon. Bye bye.